Hello, everybody out there in the Frontline universe, and welcome to. It's been a while since we've done a pre-show for Dark Avenger Live, hasn't it? Yeah. So we have two special guests with us today. We have Colton and Casey Sorrells, the creators of T.i.T.S, which is a really awesome title. By the way, Michael already reviewed issue #1 on last week's Dark Avenger comic book review. Issue 2 is coming for this week's review, and issue 3 the following. Just like what we did for Larry's Niobe, we're doing one a week, so we're covering it all. And Colton, Casey, it's great to have you guys on here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, man, thanks for having us on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, especially because we wanted to make sure to spotlight your Kickstarter, which, congratulations, it's double what the asking was for it, so that's great.
Yeah, it's good to have that wiggle room, you know, so we can kind of breathe a sigh of relief here, and just kind of going through that final stretch right now. I got less than a week to go.
I know. So before we get into the Kickstarter, because I want that to be like what we talk about towards the end, I want to talk about the book. I want to talk about T.i.T.S. So who came up with first of all, who came up with the idea for the comic book? Was it you? Was it you and Casey are brothers, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so was it you? Was it Casey? Was it both of you? Did you see it somewhere? Like the character? Like, did you get the ideas for something online and then made your own version of it? Like, how did it come to creation?
It was based off of experience we both had in Dallas one New Year's with a friend or a couple buddies, and it was just this zany cab driver that picked us up. And years later, the idea kind of grew in my head to come up with a cab driver, and we wanted to do a comic. So we've always both been a fan of cats more than dogs, so we created the cat character, and then just wanted a badass chick. So yeah, I kind of came up with the general idea, but then we both hashed it out together, and he ended up naming all the characters. So
okay, so he created the character, so it's basically both of you created the story together.
Yeah, well, like I came up with the general idea of the characters, and then we both like developed who they were. But as far as like the naming of the names for each character, like Blotter, the cab driver, Skit Scats, the cat, and Starla, like he came up with all the names of them, but we both developed like everything together pretty much.
Gotcha. Now I know you do the lettering for the book, Colton. You do the lettering. So what do you both do with the book? Like, I know you have a different artist, you have a different penciler, but what do you guys do on the comic?
We're the writers, the creators, and we both letter it too. We have a computer program called Comic Life 3, so we both get in there and we just kind of mess around with the lettering, and also we'll adapt the script as far as the dialogue goes according to like what our artist David does in his portrayal of the panel descriptions. So some things change up a little bit here and there, and that's kind of what we're doing right now with issue 4 is we're trying to tweak a couple of the dialogues before we throw it out to anybody. And plus we still have the Kickstarter going, so we're still trying to tweak a little bit things on the dialogue, but as far as like production goes, it's done.
Are you planning to go obviously you're planning to go beyond issue 4. This is like an ongoing series kind of deal, not a mini. It keeps going.
Yes, we're on issue 7 production wise. We're about halfway through it.
Oh, nice. That's really great. So I gotta address the elephant in the room, because I'm sure because I already had somebody who commented, what's up, Jabbles Creed? He's like, Tits ? So the question I have is, with the title, did you guys come up with the title first and then figure out what each letter represented, or did you come up with the word first and then it just so happened that was what each word represented, so you went with straight up Tits?
Yeah, it was kind of more the latter. Like we joked, we came up with the story, the characters, and everything first, and was already writing on scripts and just brainstorming ideas. And we were just being goofy and like, hey, we should call it Titty or Tits or something. And then like we were trying to make the acronym with Titty, and it wasn't working. We just wanted something bold that stand out, but like it was not really forced, because everything just fit into place, because it was about a taxicab service, which is the last 2 letters, and then it's interdimensional. And so we just thought of like, well, who are these people that are going in these taxi cabs from dimension to dimension? And the word transmigrants like literally fits that definition, so it just worked.
Worked perfect. And I like how in the end of each book you have like a little glossary of definitions for certain things involving inside the book. That's really awesome as well. But that's really bold, and there's not that many people that would be willing to take that jump with a title like that. And I definitely give you guys credit for it. I mean, 4 issues in, you guys are, like I said, completely funded for issue 4. You got all the way up to issue 7 written already. So that's amazing. I think that's great. Now, you read issue 1. Is there anything you wanted to ask in particular? Because I know you had a few questions.
Yeah, like my question is like, first of all, the first issue was a really like funny issue, was random, and I totally
we love random.
Yeah,
our Brooklyn Boys channel, which is another channel where we do skits. What you guys do is exactly what
when I first looked at the book, I was like saying like, okay, but then I got used to it because of the whole random. But my question is like, when doing a comic book, like, what's your favorite part about writing this comic book? Like, what do you like about writing these characters?
Just figuring out the characters' personalities and like how they react to each other. Like the dial, like once you get a scenario established, okay, this is what's going to happen in this scene, and then you like got a character that sets the precedent for what happens in that scene, and then you're trying to figure out how all the other characters act and react in relation to that, and that's like you know, where the real fun is like just figuring out, like getting inside the characters' heads and figuring out what they're going to say and do.
And part of that randomness that you see going on with probably the first 2 issues, it's really not random. It's just that these 2 individuals, Skit Scats and Blotter, are just real bad at their job. And so it's kind of just building blocks for us to help develop the characters and who they are, more so than it just being like off the wall or a random thing. So it's like each issue of T.I.T.S is like a building block to kind of see where the plot's going.
And some of the things that seem really random or sort of Easter eggish in a way, like there'll be things that
I noticed
actually pop up and be something that's like real, like later on down the
road. I gotta ask. I'm gonna let you go back to your next question, but they talked about characters. Who is your favorite character to write? Because right now, reading wise, I'm having a blast with the taxicab driver, and that's like my favorite part of the book right now.
Yeah, though, for like the first 3 issues, those are definitely the funnest to write. But in issue 4, the half of issue 3 and most of issue 4, for me, the funnest character to write is Icivius, which is the android character that you see, like, you know, on the Kickstarter or whatever. So each issue's different. Like issue 6, it's really issue 4 and 6 are really Starla heavy, but then issue 5 goes back to a bunch of cool stuff with Blotter and Skit Scat. So it's hard to pick a favorite, man. We just really like all these characters a lot.
Well, I meant favorite to write more than favorite as in like your personal favorite, like your favorite scenes to write. Like, would it be the taxi? Would it be Starla when she's doing her thing or her life? Because I did see in issue 3 that she's in a very interesting relationship. I will say that, which that's completely awesome. But it's just, it was funny, that scene in particular. I was like, wait, what? And I went back and I'm like, oh, that explains it. Okay.
I guess favorite to for me to write would be Icivius. Who would you say?
Yeah, I would have to say Skit Scats maybe.
Yeah, I love Skit Scat. He's an awesome character. Go ahead. Now, what was your next question?
Right. So my next question is that we go through different perspective of characters in the book. Like, who would you say is the main character of the whole entire story? Like,
I think they all are. I would say they all.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, who would you consider if you were to make? That's what I meant to say. As a main character of the book, who would it be?
It's definitely Starla. Yeah, Starla's the main character pretty much. I mean, they are all kind of equal. I mean, Skit Scats and Blotter are kind of doing their own thing, and then like Starla gets mixed up with them later. And as this first story arc develops, you start seeing their lives get entangled. So like, after this first story arc, which is probably going to be 11 issues, we had it at 10 at first, but it seems like it's going to have to be 11 to kind of spice up the action and stuff. But then it'll be like the trio kicking it. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to ask next, is how many issues are you working for the first arc? 11 issues. That's great. That's going to be a very long story. When you finish the 11 issues, are you looking to Kickstarter a trade for the whole 11 issues? Or is that too far in the future to think about?
No, we're actually thinking about going ahead and going to issue 5 with the single issues, and then to kind of like expedite the process, and for our own financial kind of thing and Kickstarter backers, it kind of, you know, and with wanting to do this as kind of a long-term project, it seems like it's going to make more sense from issue 6 to 11 just to go ahead and put those in a trade.
Oh, okay, so you're going to double trade it. You're going to have 2 trades for the arc.
But we'll probably just, until we get rid of all these issues that we're going to have solo, we won't do a trade for the first 5 yet. But, you know, it'll reduce printing costs for us and shipping costs for the backers. And, you know, being an independent creator, as I'm sure you know, you're just now getting into it, it gets pretty costly, like having to pay your artist and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how are you guys dealing with, like, obviously you guys are the creators, but you're the company also. You guys are the ones that get the books and send them out. So you do all the work. There's nobody like above you guys as far as like editors and stuff. How is that as far as working like as a self-publishing creators, sending books, you know, dealing with the orders, like having like 1,000,001 jobs, not just writers for the book?
It's time consuming.
It's time. And we live in a small town. We're originally from this town. We moved off to Seattle for a time, and that's why we placed the setting there. But yeah, the lady at the post office hates us because it's such a small town, and people, you know, we try to get there early or late, and she does about 20 or 30 packages a day until we get all 100-something sent out. So she dreads our return every time, I'm sure.
I mean, even with those, like handling that aspect of it and doing the writing and lettering, we still don't commit like as much time to the comic as David does. He like lives and breathes it all day long every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I could show you.
Go
ahead.
Who's David? Now that's the penciler that does the.
Yeah, he's the penciler. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like we have a stack of scripts of just revisions and everything, and that took like a year or whatever, and we keep doing revisions, but still he is the artist that's sitting there day in and day out with his head down drawing this stuff, so we couldn't do it without him.
Definitely. That's awesome. So go ahead now. I'm sorry, I interrupted you again.
No, it's all right. No, fine. So I think this is the only question I have in mind. So like after you finish like all 11 issues of this comic book, like is there like any future projects that both of you will be working on, or will it be I'm just saying like a different comic name, or will you be doing it separately? If like together or separately, would it be? He's
asking if you're gonna, let me explain what you're saying. He's asking if there's gonna be anything that branches out of T.I.T.S after issue 11, or it's just gonna be like the main title moving forward.
It is going to be the main title. We're going to try to keep this to like 50 issues probably, but we have already started talking about doing a mini series with our artist. I don't want to give too much about it away, but it's going to be kind of like a diesel punk, and it's probably going to be, we're going to try to keep it to 6 issues. So we're going to be working on that. I've already got the script done for issue 1, and probably
is it in this universe?
Issue 2.
Is it in this universe, or is it going to be just?
Yeah, it's all in this universe, but it's not going to be in the Marvel and DC kind of sense where like the protagonists are palling around and solving crimes, but it'll be more like a cameo appearance thing, and you'll see a lot of the same references, like that glossary you was talking about, like a lot of the stuff with you know, transmigrants and going through wormhole burst and aura signatures and stuff like that. It'll be going on, but the next one's going to be it's going to be different. It's going to be a kind of cool diesel punk that I don't think people will really see where it's going until it just hits them in the face. Yeah. Like, oh, I thought it was just going to be a diesel punk, and then you're going to be like, no, okay, there's more to it. We like to make things odd, so.
That's one thing I like. See, again, there are a lot of books in the realm of independent comics that I don't follow, and a lot of them are because of the mature. You know, they just throw nudity in to throw nudity in. There are books like Saga and other books like that have the nudity in. Yeah, it's like a moment, but at the same time, they have a good story surrounding it. In your guys' case, with your book, you like to throw the random in, which excuses all of like oh, so there's nudity. It's fine because there's so much. You have substance. It's not built around like, hey, the name is T.I.T.S. We're throwing tits in the book, and that's it. You know, that's the whole point of the book. And then we'll try to throw a story in. You have a story that also happens to be for mature readers, which is fine. And I like the randomness of it. You got to stop killing so many dogs, though. I'm a dog lover. I don't like the dog killing, but the cat is awesome. I like the cat. I like that. I like. You
got to blame the cab driver on that. Yeah, with the nudity we have though, it's all like, it's not like, oh, hey, look, there's nudity. It's like it's a way, it's an outlet to express like starless sexuality. She's a polyamorous girl. She's into girls and guys, so you know she's kicking it at a strip club while she's just burning some time, you know, on the clock. And then the stuff you see at the end of issue 3 with her and her lover is just That stuff, it's kind of shocking, but at the same time, it's like it's a relationship builder. You know what I mean?
Right. It builds on the character. It's like a character builder. You get a background with the character, and that's fine. That's when it's done right, and I give you guys 1,000% credit for that. You did it in a way that, not a tasteful way, but you did it in the right way, the way writers should do it if you're going to have stuff like that in a comic, which is perfect. Now, real quick, do you want to tell everybody about the characters a little bit? Like what the characters in the book are? Because a lot of people here, I'm getting the same question. Tits, what? So I know you guys have 3 books out. Do you want to give, like, for people who don't know the book yet, do you want to give them a little bit of a rundown of what's happened so far and the characters that are in the book and what people can expect if they were to pick up an issue?
Sure. The basic premise is that Blotter, he's the cab driver, and Skitscats is his navigator. They work for the cab company called Transmigrant Interdimensional Taxicab Service. So they're on a mission to come to Earth to retrieve a transmigrant who's here on Earth and then take them somewhere else in the multiverse. Because they're so bad at their jobs, they end up bungling it, and they get sidetracked and cause a lot of trouble while they're in Seattle. And of course, this catches the attention of Starla, who's a police officer, and she kind of gets mixed up with them. And then at the same time, you have this other entity known as Primordius and his henchman Icivius, who is after the transmigrant for their own mischievous plans, and they all just get tangled up together. It's just action, comedy, sci-fi mixture. So
I like it. I love the aspect of, first of all, I love space comics. We don't have enough space comics sometimes, I feel. So this is a very, we got King of Thunder in the comments, says it's called Tits, so I'll buy it. Link is in the description for the Kickstarter for issue 4, which is already successfully funded, King of Thunder, and you can get issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's one of the stretch goals, or the rewards for, I think, 30 and over, I believe, 30, 35 and over. I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head what for the physical copies.
I think it's like 32 or something like that for all 4 issues.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's like 30 or something for like all 4. Yeah, that's with the shipping and everything, isn't it? I think. I don't remember. I'd have to look at it.
I'm trying to remember just if you go on the Kickstarter, links in the description, you will find all of that King of Thunder. So you Kickstarted all 4 of your books so far, right?
Yes.
All have been successfully Kickstarted. So with issue 4, we have the Kickstarter that's up now, and that's why we're doing this live show early, because it's going to be ending in a couple more days, if I'm correct.
6 days, I think. 5 or 6, something like that.
So with issue 4, we're moving forward with the story, obviously, where issue 3 left off, which Michael and I haven't read yet. So what exactly are you offering for Kickstarter for issue 4? What are do you have any like stretch goals that you're still trying to meet? Because I know you've already got double funded. You know, you went double what you're asking for. So are there any stretch goals you're still hoping to meet with your Kickstarter?
As far as like our initial funding goal, that was just basically to cover printing costs and shipping costs. We didn't do that much on stretch goals this time. We're doing an advanced preview of issue 5, a digital 5-page PDF, and we would have put another one up there, but we would have had to have set like the goal for like $7 or $8 grand, and we really didn't think that we would get that high, so we just kind of decided not to do it.
But we are throwing in the stretch goals from the last campaign to all new pledgers. So like people that are getting the 1 through 4, they're going to get 2 mini prints, a bookmark, and a sticker. So that's another incentive for people to pledge, is they'll get 4 additional items along with that.
All right, so, and if you guys would like to jump in on the Kickstarter, like I said, still 6 days left. Link is in the description. If you're watching this post live, link will still be in the description. Hopefully you're not watching this 7 days from now, because then you're going to kick yourself. But you guys are going to be doing another Kickstarter, I'm sure, soon after for issue 5, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'd like to have a little bit of breathing time for everybody to digest the issues. So we're thinking probably sometime July, maybe August, something like that. You know, it takes about a month and a half for us to get the issues to us after the campaign. And then from them, we're like right on top of things, and they go out within a week to all the backers.
So you know how like international shipping can, take up to a month or so too. So, you want to wait till everybody gets it and has had time to read it before you just go straight into launch into your next campaign.
Right. So you guys have issue 4 done though. Issue 4, as far as the art and the writing, it's all finished and done. It's just Kickstarter. Once that's done, you're ready to start sending out.
Yeah, issue 4, 5, and 6 are all done. It's just all about re-looking at them one last time and tweaking the dialogue. So there's just a couple panels that we're tweaking the dialogue on them for right now, but we do the lettering. We have a program to do it on, so it's all about just hitting the enter button to order the comics after we're done with that.
Now, let's say people miss out on the Kickstarter. Is there any place where they can pick up issues 1 through 3 right now?
We'll have our website, www.transmigrantproductions.com.
Nobody does the www anymore, man. HTTPS //www. No, it's just going to be transmigrantproductions.com, and that'll either be forwarded to an Indiegogo link. We did that last time. We're probably going to do that again this time.
We have a web store as well.
Or to our store Envy store. So.
Okay, so people can get them right now if they wanted to.
We have it for right now. It's disconnected just for the Kickstarter campaign, because you can get them all right there. But I think you can get them digitally
on Gumroad.
On Gumroad. I don't know that exact address right now. That's how we do our digital downloads for all the campaigns. Is we just give everybody free download links that bought them or whatever. I think that's what I did with you whenever I sent them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. I have to. If you can send me the link later, what I'll do is I'll put that in the description for people to buy the comics digitally. So if you guys want the comics digitally, I'll have the link in the description. Probably if you're watching this tonight, like live, I'll have it for you guys tomorrow. If you're watching this tomorrow, then it should be in the links already, and you can pick up all 3 issues for T.I.T.S. And then issue 4, like you guys said, once the Kickstarter is over, you'll have issue 4 ready to go.
That's it, man.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this? Are we going to see any other? Oh, go ahead. You first. No. Are we going to see any new characters in the future? You got 11 issues. You got an 11-issue story. Are we going to be seeing more main characters introduced? Are we going to be seeing any characters come in, go out, whatever?
Yeah, we have a couple other major characters we'll be introducing around issue 8-ish.
Yeah, issue 8. There's going to be 2 more main characters coming in. And by that time, the plot's like really hitting hard, and you're seeing where everything's going. There's an interesting surprise with one of the already established characters that'll be coming. So there's a lot of good things that, as far as like, I think you've talked about Dragon Ball Z and stuff before, and like this is kind of comedy oriented, but it's going to get pretty heavy with the action later on, and you're going to be seeing some very cool like action stuff going on. I'm not talking about like Kamehamehas and stuff, but it's kind of anime-like, you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you, Jay. Jay in the comments has posted the link. For those of you live watching now and would like to pick up issues 1 through 3, Jay has posted the link for us in the comments, so you guys can go check it out now. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jake. Awesome. Yeah, there it is.
So if you guys want to pick it up, you can pick it up now. That sounds awesome, though. So basically, you're doing like a saga where it's a big build-up at the beginning, and then towards the middle and end, that's where a lot of the action and the craziness kicks up. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of build-up even in between, like the volumes. So right now we're at the end of volume 1, kind of with issue 4 and then 5. So it's a big build-up with Starla and Icilius, and you can just tell by the the cover that they're going to be dueling in this, and there's a lot of pictures on the Kickstarter. So there's going to be a big battle with them. And then the next issue, issue 5, is going to be a big thing with Skit, Scats, and Blotter. And then it kind of like drops off. And 6 is kind of a start over a point. Not really a complete start over, but another building to the finale of the first.
So like a mid-season kind of deal, like a mid-arc kind of deal that'll push into the. That's all. I could actually see Skit, Scat, and them joining up with Skull at some point and becoming like one big little agent group by the end of this arc almost, which is awesome. Now, what did you have to say?
No, just like a question. Like,
I know. What did you have to ask?
Yeah, so like I'm not saying all writers. Like some writers, when they write a comic book, like they hope to say like they hope it'll be better, or or that it might get out there and sell. Like, did you guys like think like after writing the books, like did you think that it would like how it's going now? Like, did you ever think that you would hit that goal, or did you think it maybe would
take more work?
It would have to take more work to do the comic book, if that makes sense.
Did you think you'd be where you are today?
Well, I mean,
I give you the question.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a good question. I mean, in our opinion, we're not even really successful yet. I mean, we're doing good on Kickstarter, but there's a lot of indie titles out there that are good and that are great. And, you know, we set the goals real high, our standards real high at first. We were hoping, you know, to get picked up by a publisher. So, I mean, for us, it's still a daily grind. We're not like super successful, rich at this or anything. You know, we're still trying to like pay off just production cost of issue 1. So it's a grind, man. I mean, it's great to be funded, but it's just covering the printing and shipping costs. So we're still striving to make back the money for you know, all the pencils and stuff.
Yeah, but like what he said, I could actually see that, you know, they could all like be a team and everything, like, you know, like Skid Scat and Stall and everything. You know,
I think this book has a lot of really great potential, which is a definite reason why when you guys said you wanted to, I wanted to honestly wait before we finish, you know, at least to finish the 3rd issue. But at the same time, this comic has a lot of potential. I see you guys going very far with it, and you know, it is bold. And I mean, I'm gonna say, and a lot of people like in the comments, Jay, I'll get to your question in a moment because they did answer it, but I'll let him restate it a little bit since you just got here. With the title, especially the title, which would deter a few people, I'm sure, because they'll see the title, they won't want to look at the book. I got to give you credit because it's just like Zenescope, where they put the sexy girls on the cover and people don't buy it because it's a sexy girl or whatever. It's sexist, whatever. Yeah, bullshit. But beside the point, you guys are willing to put your book on the line, have instead of the full long title, which would take up basically the whole comic. Yeah. You guys have made T.I.T.S. That is the name of the comic. You want to find it? It's T.I.T.S. Period. And I got to give you guys credit. You have a great story, and you're willing to literally throw that title out and say, look, it's not what's on the cover that matters. It's what's on the inside. And that's what I like, because you have good inner content regardless what you put. You can put a sexy girl, you can put a naked guy on the cover. What's on the inside is what's important. And I think you guys have an excellent inside to your comic, and it fits perfect with, and I think your title is amazing also. Transmigrant was the only name I probably never would have guessed. If you would have said this is the name of the book, you figure it out, I would have caught everything except that first word, though.
Well, so see, that was a thing that we had, you know, struggled between, because the title is bold, and, you know, after actually releasing it, I'm like, oh shit, our comic is called T.I.T.S. And, you know, he's the one that's like, man, we're sticking with it, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but man, are people going to be like, you know, just passing you know, off as just some goofy comic because it's called T.I.T.S. But, you know, like I said earlier, the acronym just kind of came, and it's a bold title, and we wanted to be bold. And we, you know, Larry, you know, from Rebel Comics talks about this a lot, all this shaming with, you know, having beautiful women on your comics or whatever. And I don't know, it's just a little bit too much for me. We're just trying to have fun and make a comic book, and in my opinion, it's no more bold of a title than Bitch Planet from Image or Sex or Sex Criminals.
It's not like it's overtly pornographic or anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's some nudity, but
it's not about just tits. It is a story, and it's an acronym. Once again, it has the dots for a reason.
Yeah.
100% agree. Now, Larry's in the comments, and he says hello, by the way. King of Thunder says, have no shame for the sexy title, and he has a smiley face. And then Jay did ask a question that you answered. I figured you could just really quickly say it again. He asked if you have any other, with 4 successful Kickstarters, do you have any advice for anyone who may be thinking about, oh, no, that's the second question. The other one was, outside of this book, do you guys have any plans for other comics outside of the world you created?
Yeah, we are going to kind of stick with this whole multiverse theme, and like I said earlier, we have the character design done for one new script that I've started, and Casey's read it, and he likes it a lot, and he's got a bunch of ideas, and he actually came up with another comic the other day. We have a lot of comics, but as far as like our next development will be probably like that Diesel kind of punk that I was talking about, like a mini series. Try to keep it at 6 issues.
We have several other titles that we would like to do at some point that would be tangentially related to T.I.T.S. It's just going to depend on, you know, like how successful this actually becomes, whether or not it can be financially viable.
Yeah, if we can make back all the production costs on T.i.T.S, you know, like, and find another artist to pick up some of these other projects and continue with David on T.i.T.S and this other comic, the Diesel Punk I was talking about, then hell yeah, man, we want to make comics. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame you. I'm the same way. I have one book, but I've got a million other things in the back of my mind.
Exactly.
Later, if there's. First of all, what's up, Steve Ballou? He is in the comments. I said hi to Larry already. Before we get to Jay's question, oh shoot, now I lost it. So I'll go to Jay's question until I remember again. With 4 successful Kickstarters, do you have any advice for anyone who may be thinking about Kickstarter to fund their comics?
Just be realistic with your expectations. Don't just throw a $10,000, $20,000 goal out there thinking you're going to hit it just because somebody else did. A lot of these people that are very successful on Kickstarter have a fairly long history of doing comics, or a good social network, or a lot of luck, or a combination of all three.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we set our goals, just to cover the printing and shipping. Because if we had set it for the actual production cost too, it would be like, you know, $10,000, $12,000, and you hitting that goal is not very likely, you know. So you gotta, you know, slowly build up. If you want to make comics, you're gonna have to pour some money into it too. We've poured a lot of money into it, and this is the sacrifice, is living back in our hometown. We don't want to be here. We're in redneck USA, man.
I completely understand. My whole first book, I funded myself. I didn't even go to Kickstarter. For the first 2 issues, I'm completely funding it. So I understand the money out of pocket.
Yeah.
But, oh, now I remember. How did you meet your artist? Did you find him through DeviantArt? Did you find, is he a friend through a friend? Or how did you come across David?
Yeah, we found him through DeviantArt, and we had, you know, a lot of responses and everything, and his was by far the best. We ended up paying him and 2 other artists to do character designs. And the actual credits page on the front is, if you can see it, it's like a blotter, like several depictions of blotter, and that's one of the other artists that we had, and he's credited to it, Zoran. So yeah, he was a very good artist too. David was the guy for us though. He was our man.
He just clicked. That's what matters. You get a good click. You get a good team. Hey, you have a co-writer. Me and Brant work the same as you and your brother. We're co-writing my first story arc, so I understand the whole trilogy. It's you two, and then you got the artist also, and I completely get that 100%. Also, Jay, thank you. Jay shared your guys' Facebook and Twitter in the comments as well. Jay, you are spot on. Thank you, man. I'm going to copy most of those links later and put all that in the description as well. Completely forgot to put all that, and I just thought about the Kickstarter because that's what we're here to talk about the most. But I think personally, from my point of view, I think T.i.T.S is definitely going to go far. We're going to be seeing you guys do a lot of books. I think that you guys will be successfully funded. You'll go all the way through all 11 issues, regardless how long it takes. I'm really interested in the new book that you're talking about, that you're hinting towards. And I know you guys are going to have a lot of really successful books, whether it remains just T.i.T.S or you have miniseries attached to it, or you go off and do other ongoings. You guys definitely have a very good story on your lap right now, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. But I don't even have to wish you guys that, because you got 4 successfully funded Kickstarters already, and you've got all the way up to issue 7 done. Literally, it's just waiting to get funded fully, and then you guys are ready to go. So I think you guys have a great story, and I think everybody in the comments or anybody watching this post live, you guys should go out and check it out. Ignore the title, because if you're gonna base yourself, it's like what Larry says, like what these guys say. If you're gonna base a book off of its cover, look at this cover. Look at any of the Zenoscope covers. You know, you base a story off the cover, you're never gonna find interesting stories, and that's the problem right now. Is people have to look beyond the cover, look beyond the anagram. The story is really good. It is for mature readers, so make sure you're 18 or older before you check this book out. But regardless of the mature undertones of the book, this book itself has a really great story, and I definitely recommend it. So guys, in the comments, hopefully, I know King of Thunder probably already ran over and funded you guys on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is up for 6 more days. So hopefully you guys will go over there, give your support, and definitely support for more T.i.T.S. Every time I say that, though, I kind of feel weird saying, show the world you want more T.i.T.S. So Colton, Casey, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks,
Your book
Chris.
is amazing. We're definitely I definitely would love to have you guys back, not as an interview, but as guests, because we really don't do interviews for Dark Avenger Live. We like having guests on, so we'll definitely have you guys back on to talk. I'm sure you guys read like other comics and do other things in the comics.
Oh, yeah, we've been reading comics all day long.
All right, so then while we have you guys here, and while we still have some time, what comics are you guys reading right now, as far as like outside of the independents? Like, you guys read Marvel, DC, or just independents?
Yeah, we read Marvel and DC, but it's mostly back issues now. Like right now, I'm reading the second Spectre series that started in the late 80s. It's not as good as the third series that came out later with Mandrake and Ostrander, but it's still pretty good. So I'm reading that now. And we both read a bunch of Image comics. He was reading Invisible Republic today. We got an Image.
That's a good book, Invisible Republic. I like that book. I'm a little bit behind on it, though.
Me too. I like sat around for 8 months not reading them as they were coming in. I was like, maybe I should read these today.
Yeah, what we usually do whenever we read comics is like we'll not read them for a while and then just like hammer down and like read 50 or 60 in a month. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. If again, and I tell this to everybody, if we didn't have this show or we didn't have our reviews that we do every week, I'd probably be trade paperbacking half of the stories that we're reading now, and I probably would read like you guys. I let things build up a bit and then hammer through a whole story arc instead of one issue at a time. But no, I definitely get that. Like, do you have a favorite series or a favorite superhero, I should say, out of all of the spectrum of comic books?
My favorite probably would have to be the Silver Surfer. Like, that's still one of my favorite series. And, you know, there's so much to it. Like, you know, these Infinity War movies are about to come out, but it all really starts with the Silver Surfer. And you have to read that shit first. And Adam Warlock. I've been reading a lot of Adam Warlock over the years. So I've got just about everything. I got a couple issues missing from our collection. But those are two of my favorite characters, and the Spectre that I just said. And we like a lot of the same characters, so.
So you guys share a collection then? So you guys have a shared collection. It's not like yours and his, or?
Well, we have our own independent collection, but there's a couple of comics, probably about 30 or 40 of them that he stole from me whenever we were kids playing poker, and he would like, he's older than me. I know I look older, but he's older than me, so he would always like make me play poker with him as a kid, so I lost a lot of Hulk and Iron Mans and leaks to him and stuff.
I did one better. I traded Michael. He had the whole Ultimate Spider-Man from issue like, I think it was 70 or no, earlier, issue like 20 or something. I traded him his Ultimate Spider-Man for my Venom series. This is the Venom series that came out in the early 2000s that nobody cared about or liked. Done deal. It was fun. Oh, we got comments. I saw these two guys and was like, where are my uncles? We're here, Bravo. That's our nieces in the comments.
Oh, okay.
We had
Bravo. We didn't go anywhere. We're right here. We're right here. Bravo, these are the two other writers that we were going to interview that I was telling you about. She was like, who are these people? That's us. We changed our hairstyle, our outlook, everything. That's us now. From now on, these are who we that's who we are.
Got a redneck accent.
I like the Southern accent. I had a girlfriend who had it for 3 years. It was awesome. I don't mind that accent at all. They're a comic book creator. And then she's like, oh, okay. She didn't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. We definitely want to have you guys back again. We'll definitely have you back for Dark Avenger Live with some guests. You guys can come on and just chill. It won't have to be about, we'll talk about your book. We'll talk about your book because I'm sure you'll have something new out by the time you come back on next. But mostly it'll be just chill. We'll chill. We'll talk with the people in the comments, have good conversations about comic books and TV and movies and whatnot for sure. But congratulations on the Kickstarter being successfully funded. Love Tits. If you guys ever want us to continue reviewing your books, whether it be physically or digitally, let us know. Like we said, we're going through issues 1 through 3. We already did 1. Issue 2 is this week. Issue 3 is going to be in 2 weeks. So,
we'll be going through it. Appreciate it, Chris.
So, man, anything for independent creators, and especially when it's a good book, and it's a good book. So, enough said. If it's good, it's covered on our comic book review, especially. So anyway, guys, thank you for being here. We will have the main show. It will be a bit late because I have a couple things I'm going to do. So stay tuned for the regular Dark Avenger Live show. This was a pre-show. This spotlighted Tits. Go out and Kickstarter, link description, click it, put money, support Tits. You want to support Tits. I can't say it without laughing. Thank you guys. And we'll see you guys soon. Colton, Casey, thank you guys again.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.